स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की, भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्रीवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्री गोवर्धन की, श्री वृंदावन धाम की, श्री मायापुर धाम की, श्री नवदीप धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा मई की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी देवी की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Te Name Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Parashad Deshapaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya
प्रहलाद महाराज की Hare Krishna, everyone.
It's time to play.
Hare Krishna. No time to play. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining on a Saturday at ISKCON Waterloo on our regular gatherings here. So we'll be having one round of chanting, and then after that we'll be starting the Bhagavad Gita discussion. We'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse number 58. So let's do the chanting first, and then after that we can go towards the recitation of the Bhagavad Gita verse and onwards. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Everyone aware what you're supposed to do? Okay. I'll just show you once. Just give me 1 second. So, the main beat, or the one in the very top, we don't chant on that beat. That's where we just chanted the mantra of Panchatattva. And now, after that, we'll be chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, each mantra on one beat, and then we move forward. That's how we're going to be doing it. So let's start. Again, maybe from the beginning. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone for joining. So if you don't have the beads and if you'd like to keep beads for yourself, you can do so. And that way you can chant every day. I'm sure you are able to chant the Mahamantra. The prayers that we did, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is nothing but begging for the mercy of the Lord to do this service. So if you like, you can take the beads with you at home and chant. Now we'll go ahead with our Bhagavad Gita class. So today's class is going to be by Kartika Mataji, who started at a very early age Krishna consciousness under the guidance of her parents and devotees from Bahrain. And since then, Mataji has been continuing her devotional service and moving towards initiation soon. So please attentively hear the class, as well as it's a discussion at the end with the question and answer, so you can also be part of that. Hare Krishna. The other part of the program after that is going to be more kirtan and prasadam.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vrija Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrija Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari
taking the time out of your Saturday afternoon and joining us for the ISKCON Waterloo Saturday Feast program. And thank you, Master Prabhu, for giving me the service, because of which the last 1 week I was researching and reading and studying Bhagavad Gita. That was a great time I spent the last 1 week. So with that, let's begin our discussion. You can take chapter 2, text 58 on your phones if you don't have the book, and you can read. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Yada samharate chayam
Yata samharate chayam.
Kurmo gnani vasavashaha.
Mognani sarvasah.
Indriyanindriyartebhyas
Indriyanindriyadevyas.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
Yada samharate chayam
Yada samharate chayam.
Kurmo gnani vasavashaha.
Mognani sarvasah.
Indriyanindriyartebhyas
Indriyanindriyadevyas.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
Yada samharate chayam
Yada samharate chayam.
Kurmo gnani vasarvashaha.
Mognani sarvasah.
Indriyanindriyartebhyas
Indriyanindriyadevyas.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
यदा संहरते चायं
Yada samharate chayam.
कूर्मो नाग्नेव सर्वसः
Kurmonadi sarvasah.
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
Indriyanindriyadevyas.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठितः
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
भारते चायं
Yada samharate chayam.
कुर्मो नाग्नेव सर्वसा
Kurmonadi sarvasah.
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्
Indriyanindriyadevyas.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
यदा संहरते क्षयं
Yada samharate chayam.
कुर्मो ज्ञानवि सर्वसा
Kurmonadi sarvasah.
इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
यदा
Samharate chayam.
कुर्मो ज्ञानीवा सर्वसः
मोनानेव सर्वशः
इन्द्रियाः तेभ्यः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
यदा संहारते च
यदा संहरते चायं
कुर्मो
Kurmo
कुर्मो नग्मा सर्वसः
कूर्मो नग्नः सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
यदा संहरते चायं
Yada samharate chayam.
कुर्मो नगानि सर्वशः
कूर्मो नग्नः सर्वशः
इन्द्रिय अर्थेभ्यः
Indriyanindriyadevyas.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
यदा संहरते चायं
यदा संहरते चायं
कूर्मो न गानेव सर्वसः
कूर्मो नग्नोऽपि सर्वसः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
यदा संहरते चायं
संहरते चायं
कूर्मो न गानेव सर्वशः
कूर्मो नग्नोऽपि सर्वसः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
Hare Krishna. Translation of Prabhupada ki Jai. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as a tortoise draws its limbs within its shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai. The test of a yogi, devotee, or a self-realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents like a snake charmer. He never allows independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do's and some of them are don't do's and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the do nots, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for a particular purpose. Similarly, the senses of the Krishna consciousness persons are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Arjuna is being taught here to use his senses for the service of the Lord instead of for his own satisfaction. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of the tortoise who keeps the senses within. Hare Krishna. So this is a very beautiful and significant sloka because controlling senses is a very deep and very complicated topic and it's way beyond me. I'm merely repeating what our scriptures and what Srimad Bhagavatam and our acharyas have said about this topic. And please don't think that I'm someone who follows this. I am part of the problem and not part of the solution. But my hope is that by reading this loudly and repeating what our acharyas have said, me and you, everyone will benefit from their instructions. So Krishna has several times talked about this topic, sense control, and how important it is to use our senses in not for our sense gratification, but for serving Krishna. Later in chapter 13, when Krishna talks about what is knowledge, from text 8 to text 12, he uses the term Indriyartheshu Vairagyam. So Indriyartheshu Vairagyam technically means in the collection of senses. So Indriyartheshu means collection of senses, and Vairagyam means renunciation from the sense objects. So Krishna says that what is wisdom? Wisdom is someone who knows what the senses is, someone who knows what the sense objects is, what the senses wants, but still uses that proclivity, uses that tendency towards bhakti, towards serving Krishna consciousness. And later again in chapter 16, in text 1, he says, Abhayam sattva samshuddhe jnana yoga vyavastitaha dhanam damascha, yajnascha, swadhyayascha, tamarjavam. He says what the 16th chapter essentially talks about the divine and demonic characteristics. And in that he says that Dhamma means self-control of senses. So the ability to control our senses is a quality of divine. And Krishna is trying to tell us that through various slokas. He keeps reiterating this point. Not just in Bhagavad Gita, when you move to Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very beautiful set of slokas that I found when I was reading. In Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 20. So I want you all to cross-check this. I don't want to give wrong information. But it is Text 20 to Text 24, where in the interest of time, I'll say the gist of the slokas. It essentially says that human body and the senses that is not engaged in the devotional service is useless. The ear holes that is not listening to Krishna Katha or that is not hearing the holy name of the Lord is a hole where a snake lives. Like a snake holes. These ears are snake holes if we do not hear Krishna Katha. Our tongue, if it's not used in speaking about Krishna, in chanting the holy name, is compared to the tongue of a frog that croaks and invites the snake of death. So the tongue that does not chant is essentially a tongue of a frog who croaks and calls death. Our head that's decorated with silk turban or jewels and shows aristocracy. It's a poetic way of saying pride, right? Aristocracy. And it's not used to bow down in front of Radha Madhav or our superiors. Is compared to the rock that is tied on the neck of a drowning man in the ocean of material existence. So imagine someone is drowning in water and you tie a weight across his neck. You're going to drown even more and you're not going to remain up. So the pride or the silk turban on your head and the head that is not used to bow down is compared to something that's going to drown you even further down in the material ocean. The hands that's decorated with bangles and is not used for cooking or serving for Krishna or serving the devotees, cleaning the temple is useless, is what Bhagavatam says. And it says about legs that is not used to walk to the temple. So obviously these days nobody walks to the temple, we all have cars, but it means that we come to the temple, we use our legs to stand up and dance or circumambulate if possible, circumambulate Tulsi Maharani. If the legs are not used for that, it's compared to the roots of the tree. The roots of the tree in Sanskrit is called Pada Praha, means someone who drinks water from their legs, means essentially the roots are compared to the legs of the tree. If our legs are not used for the purpose of devotion, it is as good as the roots of the tree. There's no point in the movement. The body that is not covered in the dust of Vaishnavas, Srimad Bhagavatam says this, body that's not covered with the dust of the feet of Vaishnava, even if it's breathing, it's a dead body. So what does it mean to cover the body with from the dust from the feet of Vaishnava? It doesn't mean that I pull a Vaishnava and take his dust and then put it on my body. No, it's not that what it means. Essentially, in the olden times, the road used to be dust, right? There was no tarred road, and it was not like how it is these days. So when you walk behind someone, automatically the dust from their feet would fall upon you. Even today you may have noticed when it's raining and you go out in the wet and you walk in behind someone, the keychain from their legs would splash on you. So it essentially means that we need to follow the footsteps, we need to follow the instructions of seniors in the temple, the senior Vaishnavas. And that's why they say that those bodies that are not used to listening to the instructions and are not used to obeying the rules and regulations, the body, even if it's breathing, it's as good as a dead body. And it also says about eyes, and I missed that, I think it comes before, the eyes that do not take darshan of Hari or do not take darshan of Krishna's places like Vrindavan, Mathura, are compared to the eyes that's printed on the plumes of peacock feathers. So the eyes of that are not really eyes, they are useless, right? So if your eyes are not taking darshan or it's not used for the purpose of devotion, it's as good as the eyes on the peacock feather, which is useless. So Srimad Bhagavatam says this to remind us how important it is to use our senses in the devotional service, and it says that yes, there is a proclivity of senses. We do have a tendency. We like tasty food. We want to see good things. We want to use our hands and legs for, pleasure, right? Nobody wants pain. But ultimately, if you are able to put Krishna in the center, then that is the right way of using the senses. There is a very popular story that I actually did not know, but I think many of you may have heard regarding this. So there used to live a sadhu in a town. He was a 30-year-old sadhu and he had a very long beard. And he used to meditate in that small town. So every time he goes and takes a dip in the village pond and comes back, his beard curls up and becomes like that of a goat. So it curls up. So the children in the town would ask him, Sadhuji, is that a beard of a sadhu or is that a beard of a goat? I mean, it looks so funny. So sadhu would continue his meditation and he would just like peek and he would never respond to them. Every day the children would play around him, Sadhuji, is that a beard of a goat or is that a beard of a sadhu? I mean, it looks really funny. But he would never respond to that. And many years passed, like 40 years later, when Sadhu was about to depart the material world, he told them, please call those boys. Those boys are not boys anymore, they are big men. It's been 40 years. And he says, did you remember, you used to ask, right, if my beard belongs to a sadhu or a goat? I really wanted to tell you that that beard belonged to a sadhu. But you know what? At that time, I was not sure. I was a 30-year-old young person, and my senses could betray me anytime, and I could anytime deviate from this path. I could not tell you that it belonged to a sadhu. But today, being on the deathbed, he may have a day or two when he was leaving the world, he said that I can tell you for sure that that beard belonged to a sadhu because he led his life being a sadhu. And Srila Prabhupada in this regard says that it is very hard for someone to say that I have controlled my senses because anytime there can be distractions. And he says the story of Akbar and Birbal. We all know Akbar and Birbal. Akbar asked Birbal one day, Birbal, when do you think this is going to end? The lust that is burning our hearts and not letting a practitioner do his practice. When is it going to stop burning like a forest fire? And Srila Prabhupada, Birbal says to Akbar, never. It never happens. Till the end, it's going to ask you to deviate. So Akbar said, I don't believe you because at an old age, you might want to not enjoy and you want to relax and you want to, get into spirituality, right? That's how it should happen. Birbal said, we'll see. So after a few days, there was like an old man in the town who fell sick and the king of the kingdom had to visit him. And Birbal said, I will join you, Akbar, and let's take your youngest daughter with us. Akbar said, what? Why should we take my youngest daughter? What has she got to do with a dying old man? So Birbal said, we'll see. And as they entered the tent of that old man, he's lying on the bed, and he looked at Akbar, he looked at Birbal, and he looked at his youngest daughter, and his eyes just got stuck. And these are the eyes of a dying old man. So Birbal said, what do you think, Akbar? And he said, I think you were right. That the desire never ends. Yes, the senses get weak and the opportunity to enjoy it may be less. And you may not be able to eat all the food you were able to eat. You may not be able to do what you could have done when you were young. But the tendency to enjoy it is going to be there till end. So, by saying the story, it is not Bhagavad Gita does not try to say that no, stop your work, stop your job and just continue doing, just think of devotional service. That's not what they are trying to say. It is very important that a student studies when they are small, and when we are working, we do our job. Because without a job, how are we going to pay our bills, and how are we going to sit in a room and chant peacefully? And this is not my speculation, these are said by our acharyas, that it is important to consider that when we are studying, we need to put our focus on the studies. And when we are working because we can pay the bills and we can be peaceful in a house and chant, or even this room, any room that we are sitting, this all comes from money. It's not something that we can get if we do not have money. So for that, it is important to consider our studies very seriously. It is important to consider our job very seriously. But it is important that we do it in the right consciousness, that we are doing this for so and so purpose. And it is not that, oh, I can enjoy or I get to do. That should be the action that you and I can take. And that is what our acharyas tell us. In this regard, Srila Prabhupada says often that our focus and our rays of attention is so diverted. So when we are in a meeting, we think, oh, let me finish my rounds, right? Like someone is talking, who cares? Let me finish my rounds. When I'm chanting, I'm thinking, let me go to the kitchen and, I had to cook that food that I was supposed to do. When I'm cooking, I'm thinking, oh, I had to call someone and fix some appointment or whatever, something that I had to do. When you're talking to someone, you're thinking, how do I get out from this conversation? Like, this is how our mind is working. Our mind is not able to concentrate. It is always in a very hyperactivity state, and also because of our previous life sanskara. So every life we go through, we accumulate some likes, dislikes, we accumulate certain characteristics, and these things come with us in this life. And then that becomes part of our thoughts, and we start having a very hyperactive brain, and which is not. Even if you think of any person who is materially very successful, you see how dedicated that person is, how much discipline he or she has, like be it a musician, be it a sportsman. I was recently seeing an interview of a playback singer in India. She was saying that she loves food and she's a foodie, but she needs to take care of her throat. So everything cannot go through her throat. She has to take care of what she eats, when she maintains the silence. She cannot, when something goes wrong, she needs to think about what to pop in so that her throat is okay. So even if she's a foodie, she loves to eat all the ice cream and everything. She cannot eat it because she needs to take care of her throat. Similarly, sportsmen, like FIFA was going on, you see how fit their body, how high their stamina is. They need to take care of everything that goes into their body. They need to take care of their stamina. They need to be fit. They need to exercise. So when we are, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha guru nandana. It is important that our attention is focused and it is not expanded and not everywhere. And it is going to take hard work. It is going to take practice for us, because you and me, we are not used to sitting at one focusing like how our rishis and munis have done. But Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that it is very important that we practice focusing on one activity at a time. When you are in a meeting, you attend the meeting. When you are cooking, you cook. When you are talking to someone, you talk. And when you're chanting, you chant. It is important that you're not thinking of 100 other things while we are chanting. Or if someone is walking, everyone turns around when someone is walking. So that is not how we do anything in our life, is what Krishna is trying to say. And there are so many instances in our history, especially great sages like Shaubari Muni, who was living under the waters of Jamuna. He was living under the waters of Jamuna so that there was no distraction for him at all while his meditation was going on. And only one thing he saw, very minute thing, he saw two fishes mating and his meditation broke. Similarly, everyone would have heard the story of Vishwamitra Muni, who got distracted by of the sounds of the anklet from Menaka's legs. We know the story of who's the person who called Narayana Devakris? Ajamil, sorry. Ajamil. He saw something provoking in the forest and he deviated from his path. So just when one sense is getting distracted, that person's life becomes chaotic. And Srimad Bhagavatam is stating all this for us to watch out. It's trying to give us a caution. This has happened, that Ajamil's story is in Bhagavatam because Srimad Bhagavatam wants to caution. Even if one sense gets distracted, the life becomes a havoc. Imagine someone like us where all our senses are going crazy. So it would be so hard for us. And we don't even have to go to history. We can even look at Mother Nature, where if you've seen a fisherman, when he tries to fish, he puts a bait on the fishing rod and throws it into the lake, in the middle of the lake. A fish, just to get the taste of that bait, he jumps out of the lake and catches that, right? So just to get a small taste, the fish risks its life. Deer, for example, is whenever a hunter tries to catch a deer, it plays like a flute music. Listening to the flute music, the deer comes to a point where the hunter wants it to come and hunts the deer. Similarly, what they usually do to trap an elephant is the female elephant and create a pit next to her. So the male elephant, just to get the sense of touch of that female elephant, walks to the pit and falls and gets trapped. So these are examples of creatures where their one sense betrays them and they become like it's the end of their life. So for us, when we have so many distractions, we have our phone, someone calls it monster in my pocket. Like it has so many distractions. But again, social media is good if we use it properly. It is not something, it can help us if we use it correctly. Srila Prabhupada always says that knife in the hands of a surgeon can save a life, but a knife in the hands of a murderer can save life. So if instrument is not bad, it is how we use the instrument that dictates how well our life would be. So with this sloka, Krishna is trying to tell us how important it is to control our senses. And anytime there is some situation in front of us, it is very important for us to put a filter and ask, is this going to help me? Even in our material life or our spiritual life, if this is going to help me, is it bad for me? Then you slowly retract yourself from that situation, just like a tortoise would retract its limbs into the shell. Every time you come in a situation, you think, is this favorable? Or whenever you're trying to do something, is your mind at that point or is it somewhere else? So that would help us, because only practice can make a man or a woman perfect. And only if we practice focusing can we move ahead in our life and in our spiritual life. Because if you've seen a soldier, he's so disciplined. What he eats, his waking hours, his sleeping hours, everything is in a book and he follows the book. And imagine if you want to be a soldier in the army of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not going to be easy to practice bhakti. And if our goal is to think of Krishna at end of life, so that we have a better life after the death, it's not going to be easy for us to get to that point. So we need to know that we practice every time we do something. Is our mind at that? Is my consciousness right? Am I doing this for the satisfaction of Krishna? Because all our duties ultimately is for Krishna. And if we realize that, we are on the right track. And that's what this shloka says. And that's why in Srimad Bhagavatam there is a very beautiful glorification of Ambarish Maharaj by Sukadeva Goswami. He does not say, oh, Ambarish Maharaj was a great devotee and he used all his senses. He did not say that. There is a series of sloka that Sukadeva Goswami says, Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane karau harir mandira vajanadishu shrutim chakara chuta satkatodaya mukunda lingalaya darshani drishau तद्धृत्य गात्रा स्पर्शेन संगमम् घ्राणं च तत्पाद सरोज सौरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्या रसनां तदर्पिते पादौ हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो ऋषिकेश पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दास्यं न तु कामकाम्यया यतोत्तमश्लोकजनाश्रयारतिः. He says that Ambarish Maharaj used his mind to be always at the lotus feet of Jai Radha Madhav. He used his voice to always speak the glories of Vaikuntha. He used his hands to clean the temple. Karau Hare Mandiram Arjananisho. And he used his ears to always hear the beautiful pastimes of Hari. And he used his eyes, Mukunda Linga Laya Darshani Drisho. He used his eyes to take darshan of Mukunda and places of Krishna like Vrindavan, Mathura. He used his sense of touch to embrace the devotees. He used his smell to smell the beautiful lotus flower at the feet of Radha Madhav. He used his taste to taste the prasad that's offered to the Lord. He used his legs to walk to the temple, and he used his head to go down in front of Rishikesha, and he had no other desire except to serve the Lord. And that is the glorification Sukadeva Goswami talks about Ambarish Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam, trying to tell us that we can also be useful like that. We can make our body useful by directing our senses in the service of the Lord. And in conclusion, I wanted to say that we all want to go to Vrindavan, right? We all want to be happy in Vrindavan. What does Vrindavan mean? There are many meanings for Vrindavan, but in this context, Vrindavan also has a meaning that Vrinda means collection of senses and Avan means nourishment. So Vrindavan is a place that's going to nourish our senses. So if we use our senses in the service of Lord, our senses are going to be eternally blissful, and none of the sense gratification, the local sense gratification that we are trying to achieve will ever match that happiness. So with that trust and faith, we keep moving forward to join the army of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. If there's any discussion or questions or any realization, please share it so that we can keep the things going.
There's a mic here if you'd like to, so that the online audience can also benefit.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, I had a question. The sadhu story you told, what was the lesson in the story? When he was old, he said, I was sadhu. What is the take from that?
The take is that no one can say that I have controlled my senses till we have actually controlled our senses and we have passed this world. That's what he was trying to say, that when he was young and the children asked him, are you a sadhu or are you a... He could not say that I am a sadhu because he does not know what's going to happen tomorrow. As we have seen our great rishis like Shaubari Muni, many munis who have got distracted, he could not say that I will not be distracted tomorrow. So he waited till he was on his deathbed to tell that, okay, I can confirm that I was a sadhu all my life. That's what the take is.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I guess it's mostly he's being humble, and that is one of the aspects of what we have to learn. If you're not humble, then you say you'll probably control the senses, and it's going to be the first. Pride comes before fall. So that's what he was practicing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, anyone has any questions?
Mataji here. Please, no, need it for the online.
Hare Krishna Mataji, beautiful class. I was waiting, somebody should talk about senses. Mataji, now in this world, means like if you are not multitasker, you cannot survive, especially like in Canada. So Mataji, what we should do only, how we can focus, like if we are chanting, we should not think anything else only.
Mataji, I'm also seeking an answer for this.
Prabhuji can guide us.
I'm not saying that because my senses are controlled, but actually today while we were chanting, I was reminded one of Sanya Safinandan Swami. he has a quote he says many a times when you're chanting, just focus, like it is so bad for every one of us that we can't focus on chanting. So he says, just focus on Hare, and then the rest of the mantra would kind of carry you over to the next mantra. And by the time you're chanting the next Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By that time, bring your mind back again on Hare, and that would help you. That is the best. Other than that, the most important part is early morning. That is the only time when all the senses are going to be, at least if not senses, our mode of passion and ignorance won't be as strong. So that is the best time. But yeah, multitasking, it is known that more than 6 seconds, like goldfish has the attention span of 6 seconds, and humans are also going below that. In fact, it is said that the generation that we are in right now, the generation before had more, like the current generation, the kids, are technically going to be more dumb in that sense. They might be good at using multiple different, tools, this and that, but it's going to be slowing ourselves down more. It's not good. Multitasking means you are, I guess the best way I could describe is like you are half and half. So you're not going to be able to give your 100%. Yeah, it is easier said, but it has to be practiced. At least if for nothing, for when we are reading and when we are chanting. Yeah. Right.
Also, chanting without meditation is better than not chanting.
Well, that's like, better than nothing kind of thing. You're struggling while you're chanting, but of course, the better the quality, the more we can please the Lord. Right? Yeah. Yes. Any other questions?
Or realizations, or if anyone wants to speak anything.
I have maybe one reflection to share. The Saugari Muni pastime you mentioned. When devotees would read that pastime, actually you'll be able to realize how much it was not like he was meditating for one day under the water. It was more than thousands of years. And then just that attention of the fishes, mating. I read this in Krishna book recently, that he had gotten a curse, and the curse is intertwined with the pastime of Kaliya snake and Garuda. So at that point in time, he had the desire to enjoy. And so that is where the curse starts from. And so in Krishna's Leela, that pastime, or even before that, when Garuda and Kaliya were having their discussion. So if you like, you can read that in Krishna book. It is nicely explained there. And yeah, he really wanted to enjoy family life. So after being in such a long life of austerity, he then decided to get married. So yeah, senses are, our Acharya says that senses are like thankless master. They get all the work out of you, but you get nothing in return, but we still trust them. Versus Krishna has to offer much more, but we still doubt that maybe Krishna would give us some benefit, right? So, and that is where maybe the question that I have. The verse, the purport mentions about do's and don'ts. Very often we see that people are not able to take the, like when they are told about, oh, you should do this, you should not do this, people have a tendency to not accept it.
So how can we, one, tell them what are the do's and don'ts in a way that is palatable to them, or at least they're able to accept it, or at least they don't have any resistance towards it. Is there, would you have any suggestions on how or what can be done?
For me personally, it has worked. So every time, it is hard for someone to follow if you are gonna bluntly tell them, no, do not do this, no, do this. But by setting example about how doing something has helped someone and following those rules and regulations has made this person successful, happy, be at peace. And that naturally inspires everyone to follow the rules. And if you want to state something, I have noticed that when instead of saying it, when we
Sugar-coated.
Yeah, sugar-coated. I mean, not sugar-coated, but say it politely, I guess it helps. But mostly it's the example. Examples of Vaishnavas are very inspiring, and how their mind is at ease, and it's not distracted, it's not in 100 different places. They may be going through a lot of struggles, but it looks like their life is at peace, and that's what everyone wants. So when we see that, it inspires us to follow what they is what I noticed.
But what is the way we can, there are people who do not want to, for example, you're out on the street and giving Bhagavad Gita, and many people, those who know about it, would knowingly not accept it. And the reason is because are definitely how we should be living our life, and that's how the senses can be controlled. So how can one have that line drawn, or the way that can, as you said, inspire or maybe bring them to a level of even just being open to suggestions? Is there any tips you would have for that?
So if we are, with respect to book distribution, when there's someone new coming and we want to show them the right path, is that the question?
Yeah, because not every time one can judge the other person based on their example, right? In terms of, it's a brief moment, right? It might be just one ISKCON so it might just be one few-minute conversation. So then you cannot exemplify the life. And so, what helps us to make it more attractive for people to at least consider is this kind of where I'm asking that question. For people, yeah.
This is my answer, showing the example of our life, how we as a community is giving and kindness and love and happiness. These are the factors one wants. So if we are, by coming to this community, by following the ways of this community, there are good qualities that we have, and we are very welcoming, and the love that we can show. Because Prabhupada himself, he got the Westerners to follow the rules with love. His main language of love was food. So love would defeat all the pride and everything that goes. So even if it's a brief moment, if the person sees the aura around us that comes from our bhakti and our devotion service and the blessings of acharyas, that would be attractive to the other person, is what I've noticed.
Hare
Hare Krishna Mataji. It was such a beautiful lecture. I actually want to add on Prabhuji's questions that he asked just now. I just believe that when we are distributing books, this is the most important thing that I even encountered when I distributed books. What happens is people who are even from our community or like belonging to same religion or white people, most of the times we try to explain them. We are expecting from people of same religion, especially our Indian people, that they will understand why we are distributing Bhagavad Gita, which is very common. But when they say that either we have it at home or we don't want it, that is something very disappointing, and we always feel that why are even we telling them, they know everything. But there was a slight suggestion, or like I tried something. What I do is if the person is comfortable enough to communicate why they are actually not gonna have this book, if they have it at home, I always say that why not you give it a try? Do you read it? And they say no, we don't, like we never get a chance to read that book. So I always say that can I ask you, like, are you completely happy in your life? So they say most of the times no. We all have problems in lives, right? So I say it's not like it's a religious book. Why not you give it a shot, like whenever in any part of your life or time, when you feel like you are not getting solution from anybody, like from your closed ones or people around you, you can just open the book and read any of the shloka, and maybe it can help you. So this is a case like I do that way. And small books that we distribute, what I say is like most in case of the people who are basically Canadians, so they think that we are also distributing books the same way, no offense though, but like how people from Catholic churches distribute their books to promote their religion. So I try to say that this is not a religious book, this is a spiritual book, because we know the importance of book, why we are distributing or why we want the people to say, to read that book. I believe like trying to like understand the person standing in front of us, their comfort zone, or how they want our discussion, like in their comfort zone, what they want us to say is actually a way to give them the book. If they don't want it after that, it's totally their choice. But we have to like how I can say, like manipulate the words in a way that because we know that this book is very crucial for them to read it, at least in their lifetime for now. So at least they agree to that. I felt like this is the way that worked for me basically. I like it helped me by distributing the books. I tried it at my workplace as well. They were like, who is this? Like I do have like books over there for like having images. So they ask out of curiosity, who are they? I just say that these are my books. Like I love it. These are spiritual books. You wanna read it? So people belonging from different communities and religions usually say no, or like they give their excuses. So what I say, I request them like, take this book at home. This is my book. You can take it, have it. You will love it. Read at least a page or two. So you can give it back to me if you don't like it. And it worked for like for them somehow, because they shared some of the experiences from the books, and they told me that actually related to their life in one way or other. I believe that was Krishna's way of helping them. Yeah,
This is so great, Mataji. Actually, this is a famous, you have no idea how many lives you may be actually influencing. Even if it's one person's life, it is so significant. Because there was a Christian story in ISKCON that's very famous actually. So they were banging at the door several times, and the lady did not open. They kept banging because they felt that there's someone at home and they wanted to distribute the book. And the lady just opened the door and she said that you're not even going to let me die in peace. Like this story is quite famous in ISKCON. And later on that Mataji is a great devotee, but the two devotees who distributed the book technically saved her life. Like she was about to commit suicide. So we never know who is going through what, and maybe out of thousands of people you have tried to distribute book, even if one person's life is saved, that's very significant, and I really appreciate that effort of yours and our book distribution team. So I think whatever you're doing is good, and I've never tried book distribution. I think you should put me on the book distribution service more. But what you're doing is really, I really appreciate that, Mataji. You were probably saving someone's life for sure.
Thank you, Mataji. I'm just trying, but I actually wanted to answer Prabhuji's, I wanted to add on to Prabhuji's question, because when I did my first book distribution, I usually don't go often, but when I did my first one, I was also very disappointed because maybe I had in the back of my mind that, I don't want to say it, but I felt like maybe people from India or who are actually Hindu, they wanna accept it. We usually heard these answers like, we have Bhagavad Gita at home, we don't want it. And when I asked do you read it, they said no, we don't read it, we don't need to read it, or we don't get a time, or some people just said no as well. So I thought maybe I can try my ways, maybe sometimes if person feels comfortable, we can talk to them, a brief communication, and make them feel comfortable if they are able to discuss more, and just be a more liberal towards them to read the book, so they don't feel like we are or we are making them obliged to read the book if they are buying from us sometimes. So maybe they try it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna to everyone. This is my first time in this community and I loved it. I would like to share something. I have been doing good book distribution with ISKCON Toronto. So in the fest, I came across many people, like yes, probably said, to listen. Many people don't like to listen, but the only thing, the way I could attract people is that you shouldn't be imposing and just try to make things look interesting. And of course, if they are inquisitive to ask questions, that's how I can make them feel that it's very interesting. And if they're more, conscious to read about life, what are we, what's the real. Some people come and ask me what is this, what are you doing here? So I said, it's the real meaning of life. If you're really searching for happiness, here you go. And these are the Prabhupada, and we are all making a joint effort so people can get real happiness in this life. So in this way, I was able to distribute many books. And even with children, if you try making things playful and interesting, parents also want to come and buy the books for them. That's how it is.
It's great. Shri Prabhupada's blessings are always with you.
Yeah, but it is also important that in Bhakti, you have to leave things which are unfavorable and which are favorable, because I know it's difficult for everyone in the beginning. Even we have been struggling, right? But if you know that it's going to take us to a real goal of life, then I think you can avoid those unfavorable things and let people know more about the books and try giving them knowledge at how it's really going to help to achieve our goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, thank you, Hare Krishna. राज विद्या भगवद गीता की जय, ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवत की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।